from the Carolinas, where Hurricane Helene really devastated the area. I live in California, Sacramento, California, right now, and we go up to Lake Tahoe once in a while, which is above us um, in the mountains. We're in a very flat plain area. If you're not familiar with Sacramento, it's built in the valley between the inland and the Sierra Nevada range, and there's an inland coastal range. And at one time, the reason this is all such good farmland is there was an inland lake here, a huge inland lake. I mean, stretching for hundreds of miles long and 40 miles wide, I guess it is, 50 miles. At any rate, I've lived in a number of states. Lived in West Virginia recently, lived in Kentucky for a little bit, have been in the Carolinas, have been in all up and down the eastern seaboard. I lived in Buffalo, New York originally. Talk about weather. But the one thing that I know is that as the oceans and the seas get warmer, they're capable of, storms are capable of drawing more and more moisture into the clouds. Hot water rises, and the water that used to be, let's just approximate 10 meters deep in the ocean, was chilly. Much like in Earth, if you dig down 6 feet, you're going to find 55 degrees naturally. But the water conducts the heat much deeper, much quicker, apparently. So right now, the water that used to be hot enough to be picked up by a tropical storm was, a decade, 2 decades, 3 decades ago, maybe the top 5 feet of water. I'm just giving you numbers. I don't know the actual numbers, but trying to give you the concept. And now the water is warmer, deeper, so that it can pick up maybe 7 feet, maybe 10 feet of water. So it might pick up twice as much water into that storm system as it used to hold. When that water comes down, it comes down torrentially raining. And also because the water makes the storm so much heavier, it makes the air so much denser, it only stands to reason that it would move slower over land as it deposits the water that it picked up from the Gulf of Mexico or the ocean. So at any rate, most of the roads in Appalachia that I've seen and I've been in, and most of the towns in Appalachia that aren't built in the valleys are built along these rivers and roads coming down from over the mountains. And as the water funnels in from the top of the mountain and goes down, it gets, obviously the creek becomes a river, and the river becomes a torrent. And what's happened there is it's absolutely devastated a number of towns and villages. I've been through Chimney Rock. I know where it is. I've been through Lake Lure, and it's there's a place called Bat Cave apparently up there. It's kind of at the top of the headwaters, and I'll tell you what, the videos were alarming and striking. And there are people on there saying that there was a town hall meeting at Chimney Rock, and the federal government has decided to take the land that Chimney Rock was built on and take it over, eminent domain or whatever they call it, and take control of the land and just bulldoze it, corpses and all mixed in there. So they may never discover some of the people missing. But it's very, very rural. It's very, very rugged. It's a hard place to get in and out of. And we in California have experienced a lot of stuff with wildfires. And this is part of the global warming cycle. And I'm telling you right now, if you live in an area where there's going to be forest fires and your house is burned down and you rebuild, okay, somewhere down the road, the federal government or the states or somebody is going to have to say, stop being stupid and building in an area that has the opportunity for a huge fire and one road access in and out where people can get stuck, and recurring fires. And you're just going to have to build in places that make more sense and stop, pining for the wide open spaces and the natural beauty. I mean, if you're living in a valley where there's plenty of room for water runoff and everything hasn't been viaducted in, or you're not built on the edge of a stream that can become a torrent, or if you're not building in a forest that has very difficult evacuation, okay, it's a free country, so to speak. Not really, but if you are building in an area where there's a strong possibility that you are not going to be able to escape, and there's a strong possibility people are going to die trying to rescue you, there's going to come a point where the government is going to say no. And if you continue to rebuild and they come in and take that land, you could be losing your property at a value that you don't agree with. I'm just saying, you got to think about these things, okay? These are the new realities of the country, the United States right now. And there's plenty of places in the world that are experiencing the same problems. I remember when a few years ago, a lot of Australia was on fire. Okay, I know this last couple of years that in Europe, Spain, Italy, Portugal, there have been a lot of fires in rural village areas and in mountainous areas, and it's really, really something you got to be aware of. Yeah, I know it's beautiful. We own 2.3 acres up in Oregon, but honestly, it's scrub brush and sand. Okay, there's not, in the area, the land we bought, you'd have a hell of a time catching fire. I don't know how you light sand on fire, but that's what the ground is. And that's why we bought it, because we can do geothermal by digging down and laying pipes in the ground 5 feet, 6 feet down, which will always carry air that's 55 degrees. We can put, there's a good regular wind up in the area, open skies for sun, 20 inches of rain a year, so we can get water catchment. We can use solar power, and we can use wind power to fill a pond at the upper elevation, and I think the elevation is about 5 to 10 feet difference. But fill an upper pond during the day with wind and solar, and then let the water run down to a lower pond, creating hydropower. We've got a lot of plans for stuff like that, and we'll show you once we get developed. Unfortunately, we are trying to develop it into a place for my daughter to run a music and dance business for her entertainment company. And also we'll try to do some Airbnb type cottages on the property. There is data and electric at the street, and the property was a really good deal financially. So as we pay it off and start to develop it, I'll show videos. But you got to look at the piece of property you're looking at buying, no matter whether it's urban, suburban, or rural, and determine what the possibilities are that a disaster is going to strike, because disasters are going to strike in a more and more frequent manner as things go on. Love y'all. Have a great day. Bye-bye.